Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. And today's question is whether it's okay for a married man to have female friends. So there's a lot of different opinions on this, and rather than my giving you my opinion, which I do have one, I'm going to just share the ramifications and also what goes into making the decision that you might make as to whether you want to have female friends at all, or if you're the wife, whether you think it's okay for your husband to have female friends. So we all know that there's big differences in genders. I don't care what the politically correct point of view is on this. The fact remains that men, because of their biology, their gender, male biology, they're driven by their drive to survive, just like women are, but in a different fashion. And part of a man's drive to survive, which the sub-drive is procreation, the first is survival, and then it becomes procreation. So for a man, just take a look at the way he's equipped. He is equipped to literally have sex anytime, 24/7, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. He's equipped. Does that mean that he is interested and that he's going to? No. But he's equipped to. And biologically, he's literally driven by the body, but not necessarily by his mind, which is influenced by both the soul and the body. But his body is driving him to take advantage of every single opportunity that comes up in order to expand the environment of the species. That's the man's role. Biologically. Now, it's primal, granted. And most men, and I mean way most men, do not go there. You know, I know in Hollywood they make it look like men cheat on their wives all the time and it's this way, but it really isn't. Most men are higher, they're more human than animal, and they don't want to cheat on their wife. Unfortunately, in our society, it does arouse suspicion when a man has female friends when he's married. It does. And there's just no denying that. And because part of marriage is how we fit into our society, that's something to take into consideration. Another thing to take into consideration is, what do you mean exactly by a female friend? If we have female friends at work, or male friends at work, if we're a woman, and it's strictly in that environment, and it does not include going out for drinks after work, that's different. And it really should be seen as different, unless the man and the woman, and it could go either way, in the business environment work closely together with no one else there. Now, it's one thing if they're on a committee and they're on the same committee. It's another thing if they're doing a project together, just the two of them. Frankly, if I were in that situation and I were a man and I were asked, and I'm married, and I were asked to work with a woman, just a woman, for, and I'm not talking about like a 3-hour project, but for more than a couple of days, I would decline the offer. And I would not hesitate to say I'm a married man and I don't think it's appropriate. Doesn't mean it's not appropriate for everyone, but for me it's not appropriate because I don't want to hide anything from my wife, and I don't want to tell my wife I'm working with Sally Joe here for a few days on this project because my number one concern as a married man is that my wife is happy. I want her to feel like she's the only one that I look at, that I notice, that I care about. I don't want, and you could say, well, it's her problem. No, it's not. Her triggers, you can call them, are my problem too. I don't want to trigger her to feel anything but really safe and really secure. And that's really the bottom line for me. I'm not going to cheat on her. I don't look at other women. I've worked with hundreds of women, very professional, and I have rules. Like if a woman were to come into my office and her blouse were unbuttoned provocatively, I would ask her to button it up. So that's me. And the reason I do that as a professional isn't because I'm tempted, but because I want her to recognize that even if she's unconsciously trying to manipulate me, because obviously when a woman does that, that's what she's doing, that it isn't going to work, that we're not going there. Now let's say you're the wife and your husband has some female friends. You don't want to go to your husband and say, you can't do that. You can't confront him. You could, I suppose, somewhat demand of him that he lets go of his female friends. I don't know how you would do that gracefully, but you certainly can let him know that you're really uncomfortable with him having female friends. And you don't care whether it's his ex-wife, you don't care whether it's his sister's best friend or his friend's wife. He has no business having any kind of relationship with any other woman than you. And yes, you could tell him, I said so. The world is not a Hollywood movie. There are real temptations and real weaknesses. And if we pretend that we are above those, we're stupid, because none of us are. And we have to be very careful. It really doesn't matter how serious you are about your principles, your philosophies, your morality. You're always subject to temptation. It's human nature. We are designed to be able to elevate ourselves, but unfortunately there's that other aspect of us that may give in to temptation. So that's it. I hope you have gotten something out of this video. If nothing else, something to think about. Again, I have to state, I'm not here to make up your mind for you. I'm not a moralist. I can't tell you what's right or wrong because we're all individuals. But I could share with you some other elements that might come into play, and I hope you consider them useful. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe to this channel. This is sort of a very mundane topic, but we do get into some things that are really cool on this channel because the Marriage Foundation relies on very high principles that are really relevant to you as a married person. So thank you for joining me, and God bless and take care.